shocking that after 5 seasons of the DreamHack Masters Europe, ShoWTimE has never made it into the top 4. That's kind of crazy to me.
It's more than crazy, actually, considering his caliber and how long he's been sat very close to the top, if not the top of Europe's scene. But getting on into it, spawning in the bottom right-hand side as a Red Terran, as you said, representing Alpha X, it is AqueroN.
And in the bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of our German Protoss, Mr. Mauer himself. It is ShoWTimE.
ShoWTimE, obviously one of the greats of Europe and has been for a long time. Like, he was duking out with the greats before from a different generation, such as the Snoots and Nurchios and stuff, and he's still here, man. But it does feel like those top 4 maybe just getting a little bit further ahead, whereas ShoWTimE, well, I still think he's absolutely capable. I want to see him really bring it this season.
I'm having a hard time focusing because for some reason Njal really wants to see his FPS, and I'm trying to figure out why, Njal. This is not something you normally do.
That's what distracted you?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. At one point, then my brain just shuts down because I normally had this weird thing whenever I play a ladder game, I needed to have this in the top left side. If I didn't have it, I felt something was missing. It's just, in a weird way, kind of pleasant to have those tiny numbers in the top left side of your vision. Wow, by the way, we said he needs something crazy. Do you think that he's gonna fly this factory into the main base and has like a Cloaky Boy opening, or even Cloak Winter Mines, of course, I like to call them the Cloaky Boys, or even Hellions? Like, what is this going to be?
I'm actually not sure. I think if I had to guess, I'd be like, I think he wants to go for like 3 Hellions and make a starport next to it, just to have the fastest drop available.
Wow.
But, I mean, I don't know, really. I am kind of worried for AqueroN because that probe down there at the bottom, I think it could eventually scout, but
what?
Oh, he's going to go for his own shenanigans as well. This is the Wild West, Kevin.
I actually like it. All right. Well, no, it's Cloaky Boys, man. Armory. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is gonna get wild, guys. ShoWTimE is probably gonna kill a lot of SCVs in this game, but AqueroN also has the potential to kill a lot of workers. The Adept, though, the Adept could have prevented that factory from landing. That would have been real big. I mean, do we like this for ShoWTimE regardless? Because Oracles are really good, or could the Cloak Boys really mess him up?
I think the Cloaky Boys can mess him up, but okay. 2 Adepts. They're going to stop any Widow Mines, and yeah, AqueroN has a little smile on his face, because those Widow Mines, I mean, you might be able to burrow immediately, if you're lucky, but how do you plan on getting anywhere that really matters now? I think he's actually in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Ben. And ShoWTimE is going to try to bait the Widow Mine, but then he can get another shot off, gets a final shot off, and now he's not going to see them anymore. So now ShoWTimE, even if that mine fires, cannot immediately kill the mine. So this is at least something. Whoa, did he kill it? He killed it. The Adept went down, and now the second Adept is in maybe a tiny bit of trouble too. But AqueroN has no idea yet about the proxy Stargate. He may expect a Oracle opening regardless. One Widow Mine does get picked up though in the main base. I'm sorry, Njal, but AqueroN tried to move it forward. So ShoWTimE getting a kill on a Widow Mine is a pretty big deal.
It definitely is. And this Widow Mine trying to sneak on by here. Every time you get just a couple of shots on a Widow Mine, it's actually a really big deal. Now
look at where the Marines are. Look at where the Marines are. The Marines are out in the center of the map. They're going to say hello to a probe, but this Oracle is going to find a lot of damage. And AqueroN is indeed in a world of trouble. Cool idea here for the first game, but it kind of backfired because Mr. Mauer knows that he always needs to check the corner of his main, and he saw the factory floating.
Yeah, I mean, AqueroN's lucky that Oracle ran out of energy there. 7 SCVs is a lot. And he runs up this ramp, and it's like, oh, you got a wall off here as well? I mean, this is all about ShoWTimE, this game. Second Oracle comes in as well, deals with... Oh, actually flies away from those Marines. Yeah. But the first Widow Mine might be getting in here.
Yep, we're going to burrow it. ShoWTimE is not going to kill this in time. He's going to lose a couple work. Wow.
Oh,
how does he do it? That's actually very well done.
Nah, that was beautiful, actually. And now these Oracles are back home, and it's like, okay, we'll just make short work of this. You just have to be careful, though. There is going to be another Widow Mine out very, very soon.
Yeah, but he's got another revelation in the near future. ShoWTimE, okay, bit sloppy there, loses an Adept, but he's going to be more than happy with the start in this game. In the end, One more Oracle with quite a bit of energy is flying around on the other side of the map. The one thing I would say ShoWTimE has to be a little bit concerned about, Ben, is that he doesn't have a Robo, he doesn't have a Twilight. So his army is actually going to be, in a weird way, somewhat weak for quite some time. Yeah, 3 Oracles are going to force AqueroN to stay at home, at least until he's got multiple missile turrets up. And it's not like AqueroN's got Stim finishing up anytime soon, so I guess ShoWTimE really doesn't have to worry about anything.
I mean, okay, now AqueroN's going for the Thor. I mean, I kind of like it, because you have to keep on being crazy. You have to kind of finish this game pretty soon. It's what we talked about beforehand. Keep it kind of simple, but these 3 Oracles might just win the game right here, actually. And, oh, one of them does get picked off, but not without every Marine dying, and, oh, brutal.
Yep, I think pretty much over, man. This is just a little bit too much damage. Now these Stalkers can just start kiting Marines. It's not like AqueroN's got anything to do about that. He is still going to try to get a Thor out on the other side of the map. I think at this point, just pick up 8 Marines and try to... what do you even want to do? How are you going to get the Thor in the main? Unload the 8 Marines into the main base and then also pick up the Thor? Is he going to pick up the Thor and fly home? Whatever AqueroN does here is kind of the wrong choice. We're going to get a Thor harass. They can probably win the fight against 3 Stalkers. At this point, ShoWTimE is probably wondering, what are you doing, mate? This is so weird.
I mean, like, ShoWTimE, he just picked off the orbital here. I think AqueroN realizes as well the writing's on the wall, and these Marines, like, they're not going to win that fight against that. ShoWTimE's actually on 3 bases behind all this, despite kind of this 1.5 base all-in from AqueroN. Yeah, ShoWTimE's just having the time of his life this game already. What a nice way for him to start off his DreamHack season.
Yeah, and the only 0.5 is the extra SCVs. And I guess we can pull 8 or 9 SCVs to mass repair the Thor. And that's going to be good if ShoWTimE's army is small, but ShoWTimE's army is anything but small. Especially with all the extra gates finishing up. We already have 4 gateways, 2 extra gates are on the way. We do have a tank keeping that thing safe, but the Thor's in a bit of trouble. Matter of fact, will go... I want to say down, but it does not quite go down yet. ShoWTimE could warp in unit zone the high ground. He's got a pylon here.
He's going to go for it as well, Kev. I mean, he doesn't yet have Blink, which is kind of a bummer. I like the fact that AqueroN's trying it out and such, but yeah, I mean, these are the... This is a useless squad of Marines. I know Marines are a damn good unit, and, you know, ShoWTimE sees this and he's like, really, mate, really? This ain't going to work against me.
ShoWTimE can kite for days. AqueroN may be able to get that pylon and at least unpower one of them. But by the time AqueroN has ever made it to the other side of the map, Blink will be done, +1 will be done. There really is no saving this game anymore for the young man from Spain. Still decent effort, he knows it. GG, ShoWTimE takes the 1-0 lead. I kind of wonder how this game would have played out if ShoWTimE's Adept didn't see that factory. Like, if it's just one cloak mine that just runs straight into the mineral line, this game would have been wild, man, and it actually would have been super fun to watch.
Could have been cool. Like, what you're asking, though, is, well, what if ShoWTimE was just, you know, not ShoWTimE? Like, if it was just worse, you know? But, yeah, I'm pretty sure those kind of strategies can absolutely catch players off guard. It's just, ShoWTimE is really good, man. And, you know, like, Spirit, Soul, did knock him out last season in kind of a bit of a surprise, which was Spirit just throwing a lot of weird stuff at him time and time again. And I think ShoWTimE can look at that and be like, you know what? I got caught off guard a little bit there. I'm going to be even more bulletproof. I like the fact that AqueroN started off and with the way that he did, but yeah, I'm very curious about what he's going to bring to the table this time. Is he going to go for something really weird and out there again? Maybe a full 1-base proxy situation? Who knows?
No, I don't think he does that too often. I have the feeling this is going to be a 3-Rex opening coming out of AqueroN. I think he likes opening up 3-Rex, so probably just 1 barrack CC on the low ground, and then either 2-base stim or even just, or 2-barrack stim. I think straight up 3-Rex and just hope that ShoWTimE plays Twilight, goes up to 3 bases, because we all know if like 50 Marines and 2 or 3 Marauders show up with stim, and all you have are a couple of Stalkers, like 4 or 5, it can get pretty gnarly. So I think that's what he's going to do. If I know my AqueroN, Benjamin, I think that's what he's going to bring to the table here.
I mean, you do know your AqueroN. I know you've played against him quite a few times, at least in the past you have. But we're going to get on into it. 2K Atmosphere will be the battleground here. Spawning her in the bottom left as the Red Terran, it is AqueroN.
Yeah, not too much lately, Ben. He's too high MMR for me. In the top right side of 2K, we're looking at the main base of our German Protoss, taking a convincing 1-0 lead in our second best of 3 of the day. This is ShoWTimE.
Yeah, I mean, ShoWTimE really didn't sweat that game, right? Like, he went and killed the natural, took a third base behind it all. He was just in control right from the get-go, and it really comes down to scouting that as early as he did. But yeah, when you go for a strategy like that, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I can't fault the boy for trying. I think it was a nice way to start off the series at least, because now ShoWTimE can be thinking, oh, he's willing to go that crazy against me? Maybe I have to be really damn safe and just make sure nothing else is going on pretty wild here, which we do see this second probe already, just having a quick look for potential proxies here from his opponent.
I mean, imagine if ShoWTimE would have just done what so many Protoss players do, and that is their first adept shaded to the other side of the map immediately. But I guess ShoWTimE didn't see a command center, so he's like, well, there's no point for me shading to the other side of the map. A, it's Blackburn, it takes a little while, and B, I don't see a CC. So I guess that's why he stayed at home and saw that factory immediately. It perhaps could have been even worse if it wasn't able to land, but maybe in a weird way that would have been alright for AqueroN, because then at least he wouldn't have been losing Widow Mines.
No, absolutely. And I was just thinking about a really weird world as well. Like, say if AqueroN was just a little bit slower, like with flying over his factory as well, but adept, like it finished the shade, you know? It's just in the vision just a little bit. That could have been like, oh, maybe this worked out in this timing. But yeah, just if he was worse of a player, it could have worked out.
But none of that really happened. AqueroN also not going for a 2 Rex or a 3 Rex here. It's 1 Barracks reactor with the CC on the low ground, and then he's going to follow it up with a factory. That factory is somewhat nearby, so we could maybe swap it out with the barracks a bit later and get a couple of Hellions on the field. But I don't know if he's going to do that, as he's already taking a second refinery as well.
Yeah, most likely going to be going for a very standard like Widow Mine drop opening with this. We'll have 3 Marines out by the time this adept does cross the field. ShoWTimE being safe though, like a Stargate opening is, I feel that that's a good all-round opening. Obviously, it can be a bit leery against those 3 Rex builds that you talked about, but ShoWTimE, he's a good player. He knows how to get himself out of those sticky situations, and he does see a bunker already at the front here. Sees the factory behind as well without an add-on thus far. You can probably guess what he's up against.
He didn't actually see that. The vision of shade is not that good, man. In the old days, he would have seen that, but in this day and age, you don't see that.
You're right, Kev. You're right. He didn't see it whatsoever. What can I say? I thought Protoss was even stronger than it already was, you know?
That's why I'm here, to make sure that this is a balanced cast.
Oh, AqueroN trying to grab that adept there. Does at least deal a little bit of damage to it. That sends it packing a little bit.
So far, I think AqueroN is doing a good job in keeping ShoWTimE in the dark. That first Oracle is going to fly to the other side of the map. There is a Widow Mine burrowing on top of that refinery. I kind of like those. You don't often... I mean, ShoWTimE is ShoWTimE. I know I would fly straight into that, but we also know that ShoWTimE is one of the finest Protoss players in the world. And hopefully he does not fly straight into that Widow Mine. Mr. Maurer!
Oh my. Yeah, I mean, that little blink there from the line, it's like, oh, damn it. This is already not going how I wanted it to. My opponent now knows what he's up against. And it's just rough, man. Like, that was almost, I want to say, unfortunate for AqueroN that line showed up in the first place, but rough.
Wow, and now this Oracle ends up with 5 SCV kills. That's quite a bit of damage. I do like what AqueroN has done. He has picked up those 2 mines immediately. He's going to fly towards the other side of the map. Hopefully he doesn't fly over the Nexus or the pylon. It'd be a lot better. ShoWTimE now realizing that those mines are gone, but it also opens the door for Oracle number 2 to find some more economic damage. There are some very low HP SCVs. I'm very surprised he didn't kill the one with 1 HP, but ShoWTimE apparently is a merciful god sometimes.
Yeah, definitely is. Oh, ShoWTimE didn't put the pylon at the back of that third there. I think that's a little bit of a... I don't want to say a mistake by him. He went for it more on the right side of his Nexus, but he must know that something is on the way. He has 3 adepts in his main base here. Oh, a couple of oracles in the National as well. He looks like he's more than covered.
Yeah, I almost wish that AqueroN would have gone for it immediately, because he should have realized that if Oracle number 2 is also activating Pulsar Beam in the main base, that there is not that much energy on these Oracles. It would have been better to just go for it immediately, even if the chance of succeeding was low. It's a lot lower now, because now these Oracles have extra energy, and things are going from worse to worse, as the great Jonas Sutala would say. This is really not going anywhere for Mr. AqueroN. He's been trying, but he's been getting a little bit unfortunate, and B, he's playing against ShoWTimE.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, right? Like, I know a lot of people in Twitch chat can be like, hey, why don't you just Widowmine drop every game? You know, Widowmines get so much damage done. You then look at Hellraiser's tweets, and he's talking about Widowmines being damn good as well, in a different matchup, obviously. But yeah, this is sometimes what can go wrong if you're up against a really damn solid Protoss player, and ShoWTimE is just that. And that resources lost tab, it doesn't lie for how this game has been going so far.
Yep, ShoWTimE has not lost a single unit. We'll probably end up losing a couple of Zealots if they steam forward into the bio units of AqueroN, but AqueroN is going to try to drop a third command center while being down 20 workers, and ShoWTimE already having 3 bases up and running. Wow, this almost feels like I'm watching your stream, Benny.
Yeah, absolutely. You know that building layout as well from AqueroN? Like, if this was my stream, Kevin, you can bet that some units would get trapped there right in the middle, and I'd be like, no! Because when it goes from, when it starts off bad, for me, just keeps on going bad.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. AqueroN is still going to try to move out. He's got a Raven, 3 Marauders, and 25 Marines. Now, if we can land an interference matrix on the Colossus, I know, this is wishful thinking, but if that happens, then the rest of ShoWTimE's army is kind of bad, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, charge finishing is a really big deal. Okay, 2 Marauders to meet these, but the 2 Adepts with, or rather, the 2 Oracles with. One of them, it didn't even get a shot off, it just zapped all its energy immediately.
All right, I mean, it really comes down to this push. The Raven is going to show up as well. We have a couple of force fields. I'd love to see AqueroN maybe work on the rocks. This Observer is going to be annoying. Just close your eyes what's happening at home now. Drop that interference matrix. Yeah, I mean, double battery makes it so hard, because you don't ever want to take a game-deciding fight in range of an overcharged battery. But every second that goes by, this game is not getting any prettier either.
No, and that's the thing, right? Like, it's gone bad. Every second that goes by, it's actually better for your opponent as well. And he just lost 15 SCVs. I mean, that is the roughest spot. And AqueroN just decides to go home, actually. I'm a bit surprised about that.
Yeah, because I feel like even though it was probably not going to work, that was still his best opportunity. Against only 1 Colossus, you land an interference matrix, and you just hope that your Widowmine shots are great, or that you can kite a little bit. I know that we're going to be force fields, but it really just wasn't going to get better than that. By the way, AqueroN was forced to lift this factory ban, so you're not alone. He also had a couple of Marauders stock down. The medevac goes down with 5 units inside of it. That Raven almost went down. Yeah, it's this is an unfortunate series for AqueroN. I'm sure that he's going to show much better gameplay in the future. Now, the Marines are in the front as well. You don't want that ever, but that's, of course, not going to make the difference. This best of 3 was all ShoWTimE. He gets a very convincing second game victory, and he just walks